and welcome to another exciting episode of Talking with Famous People. I'm your host, Eric. Today we'll be talking with famous person Natalie Fratino, and she'll tell us all about how she visualizes numbers in the wrong way. Enjoy the show. Do you have familiarity with Myers-Briggs?
Yeah, ENTP.
No, you're not.
I am.
I pegged you as an F, first of all.
Oh, a feeling? I might be a feeling now. Because remember, that was when I was 18, so I might be.
I don't think those 4-code personality things really change over time. I think that there's another personality model that accounts for those, though, which is called Enneagrams. Well, it says you're born one of three states: active, responsive, or neutral. Active means basically you want to act upon the world. Responsive means you want to be responsive to other people, helping. And neutral is you're basically withdrawn.
It's between A and R. It's definitely not neutral.
How were you parented? You were parented in one of those three ways. You parent not necessarily how you are. Like, I was born active, but I parent responsive. Which is to say, were your parents like, here's how it's going to be, you have to go to soccer practice, blah, 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 blah. Or were they like, well, what do you want to do, Natalie? What makes you happy? Or were they like, leave us alone?
It was active.
They were active. Okay. Did you butt heads a lot with them? Or did you meet their expectations?
Both. I met their expectations, but I fought a lot.
Okay, I suspect you're active with active parents, which makes you an achiever.
Oh, yeah, definitely an achiever. That definitely.
But I don't peg you as extroverted particularly. At least you don't have the typical ENTP quality of talking all the time.
Yeah, no, I'm not a talker.
Which makes me think you're probably INTP.
But I'm not afraid.
No, introverts are not afraid. They're not necessarily not bold at all. It's just a matter of does spending time with people and interacting with others make you feel more energized or tire you out?
It depends on the people, but probably more energized.
Okay, well then that would be extroverted. Do you tend to daydream and wander off in your head, or are you more in the moment?
I'm more in the moment.
That would make you an S rather than an N.
Unfortunately, the questions are in such a way that I know what I want to be, even though it may not be what I am. And so I could possibly answer them the way I want to be rather than the way I am.
I mean, you're aware of the risk of doing so. So don't you feel you're capable of accounting for that and answering with an eye towards data and objective analysis?
Possibly. Skew it.
Well, of course you could skew it, but, I mean, wouldn't that require some intent on your part? Or you think you're going to accidentally skew it?
I think I would accidentally skew it. I would forget in that moment.
But there's no time pressure on the test. You could go back and revisit it.
What do you mean? I'm a super achiever. There's always pressure.
No, but I'm saying, like, it's not a test that you pass, per se, right? Or fail.
I know, but in my head, I sometimes think that it is. I have some place I want to be, and if I'm not in that place, I'm afraid that I would feel sad, I think. Actually, this really very much reminds me of your post about, that you're in competition with everyone.
Uh-huh.
I have that feeling sometimes.
That was my next question is, do you consider yourself a competitive person?
Yes. Absolutely.
What do you like to compete at?
Everything.
Uh-huh. Welcome to the club, right? I mean, I feel welcome myself to your club, sounds like.
I'm telling you, if you put me in a yoga class, I will do competitive yoga.
Certain personality types really just want harmony. I've been trying to think this morning what personality profile Dave is. I think he's ESFJ, which is to say he's extroverted.
I think you're right. He's definitely E. And you said N?
I said S, which means he's in the moment rather than more abstract, more concrete rather than...
he's a big daydreamer.
Okay, so maybe he's N. Okay, EN. F is he makes his decisions based on his gut rather than rational thinking.
50-50.
That guy is not a T. Yeah, look, he likes thinking a lot, but that's not how he makes his decisions.
Okay, all right. And what's the last one?
J. He likes solid answers rather than uncertainty, right? Because I always threw mush at him, and all I got back from him ever was rigidity.
I remember he told me that you used to tell him that he likes his rules. And
That's a J.
He does like his rules.
I don't like rules.
I don't like rules either. I studied music from a very young age. So I had, from when I was like 4 or 5.
What did you start on?
Accordion for 7 years, and piano, then guitar, then voice, then congas, and hand percussion, and then bass. The way I put things together always reminds me of music. Numbers and words and meanings, but there's a magical way that all fits together in my head, and it helps me in every area of my life. Problem solve reminds me of music.
Let me clarify what you're trying to establish here with this equivalency. Are you saying that when you come to an abstract idea, such as an ethical question, such as, should I call the police right now on this thing that's happening over there? How would you process that? And then explain to me how that relates to your music analogy.
I'm not sure that it does relate to my music analogy, because my music analogy actually relates more to creative problem solving.
What's an example of a problem you would solve using the music analogy?
Oh, God. I have no idea, because it's so part of me, I don't even know that I'm doing it.
But I want you to distinguish it from something that's not it, so that I can better understand what it is.
Yeah. How to clean the house. In my head, I established the pattern that I think it needs to go down by means of efficiency and what would make sense. Like, I wouldn't necessarily do the floors first and then dust and put all the dust on the floors, that sort of weirdness. A pattern establishes itself very quickly when I'm given some sort of task, especially a physical task. Does that make sense?
Yeah, hold on.
Are you drawing a graph?
No, I'm flowing the round. It sounds to me like maybe what's happening here is you're saying that early on in your life you developed an abstract schemata by which you understand spatial problems via the height metaphor that's implicit in music. It's high pitch or low pitch, even though it's just a metaphor we use for a lack of a specific word indicating frequency, number, bigger or smaller, right?
Okay.
Numerical system goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 through 30, 31 through 40,
41 through 50, and then it goes basically sideways until it gets to 100. And then it goes, until it gets to 90, and it goes 90 to 100, and then it goes 100 to 110, and then 110 to 120, and then 120 to 130, and like that repeats.
Wow.
Who knows why I have that picture in my head of how the numbers go. In any real sense, they don't exist in space. Do you have a spatial model for your numbers?
Yes.
What is it?
Sets of threes. It's in dots.
I just am shocked that anybody would even conceive of having a number system set up like that. That makes no sense to me at all. Sets of 3 in dots?
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong. That concludes episode 4 of Talking with Famous People. I was your host, Eric, and today was part 1 of my interview with famous person Natalie Fratino. There will be a part 2.